Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming here today. And as Jason said, your cooperation and the cooperation of the public is really important to us. And you've heard me say more than once that we can solve all the homicides if people will come forward and help us and give us information. And that's basically what we need today. So I'm just going to go over a few things here, and then I'll get into a very short presentation as well. So on the evening of November 25th, that's exactly 1 month before Christmas, the deceased, Theodoras Belayneh, and he's known by his friends and family as Teddy Belayneh. He was 32 years of age. He attended the Reset nightclub at Pembina and Bishop Grandin. There was a hip-hop concert going on there that night, and the main performer was Ace Hood. So a lot of people might remember that and be able to reference it. It was the Ace Hood concert at Reset at Bishop Grandin and Pembina. There was quite a large crowd in attendance there that night. Since then, we previously requested anyone with photos on social media or whatever from the bar and the club that night to contact us, share their photos. We got a phenomenal response to that, and a lot of people did share their photos with us. We've got a very, very good overview of, I'd say, the entire crowd that was there, and we've been able to identify a lot of people. There's some people that we don't know who they are, obviously. People have come forward to us, said that they were there, and helped us out identifying themselves. Again, with regards to the concert that night, we do know that it was a large crowd, but it was also a very well-behaved crowd at the Reset nightclub. A couple of minor altercations there, which would go with any nightclub, any night when it's busy. Teddy Belayneh, we believe, was involved in nothing serious. He was involved in one minor altercation, but it was nothing that should have led to a shooting. I think it was a silly dispute, speaking to some girls for too long, and probably got under somebody's skin. So when Teddy Belayneh and his friend left Reset at around 2:30 a.m., which is now November 26th, they drove directly north on Pembina Highway. They didn't stop anywhere. They didn't go for coffee, food, anything like that. They just left the nightclub, left the parking lot, had to go south, then turned north and went directly north. We know from looking at video cameras in the area, there's a lot of different cameras on businesses. It's a very business area, a lot of public places there. We know that there was a long line of traffic going north, even though it's 2:33 a.m. There's a line of traffic, and there's no reports of dangerous or reckless driving from anybody or from what we can see, so we don't believe that this is a road rage incident either. So Teddy Belayneh was the front seat passenger in this vehicle, and they were traveling in the curb lane. We know that there was a line of traffic because, like I say, there's a few businesses in the area have surveillance cameras out there. And right in front of the apartment block at 3 Donald, just south of Stradbrook, several shots were fired from one of the vehicles that was around Teddy Belayneh's vehicle. So Teddy Belayneh and his friend were both hit, causing the driver to drive over the boulevard and finally bring the car to a halt facing the wrong way in Stradbrook. There are 2 vehicles that we know were very close to Belayneh's vehicle when the shots were fired. Honestly, I don't know if one of them is involved or not, but they were very close, and the occupants should be able to help us out. These are 2 vehicles that we're describing. One is a black BMW 3 Series, 4-door BMW, and then there's a smaller SUV. What the occupants of these vehicles can tell us is, where did the gunman's vehicle go? I'm just going to go back to the video there for a couple of seconds. Now, if you look at the video here, this is just as the car mounts the curb. And so the shots are being fired at this stage. Some of the shots have already hit the car, probably hit the victim, both victims actually, because both men were hit. Now, if you look at the intersection in front, it's so close to that intersection. If most of you guys have been to that scene, there's quite a high boulevard until that spot where the car goes over the boulevard. So it's a very short area between the intersection and here. So what the again, what the occupants of these two vehicles I described can tell us is where did the gunman's vehicle go? The shooter had really only two choices. He could go east on Stradbrook, which is off to the right here, or he could go straight north on Donald. None of these two vehicles were going slowly either. I mean, we're talking about basically a drive-by shooting, so these vehicles are moving pretty fast. When Teddy Belayneh and his driver got shot, they were not driving as slow as our vehicle here in the video is. They were moving. They were probably doing 50 kilometers per hour, and I would suspect that the shooting vehicle was doing that and more, probably a little bit faster. So for the shooting vehicle to go east in Stradbrook would definitely take a considerable amount of skill to get around that corner. I know I tried it at a bit of speed and I almost rolled. So it's not something that you could do. You're going to be hyped up if you're shooting or you got shooter with you, you're shooting, you've got to be really a good driver to make that corner. So maybe they went straight, maybe they went north over the bridge. What we know about those two vehicles is in the smaller SUV, we believe there's a lone Caucasian female, probably in her mid-20s. And in the black BMW, we know that there's a group of people in the black BMW. Look at the area here where the vehicle stops, and shots were still being fired almost right up to this point. This is really unacceptable. And look at the area here. There are cars driving north and south on Donald, right into the line of fire. There's residences here behind it, and there's bullets flying. You were at the scene as well. You saw all the ident markers on the road. There was a lot of shots fired here. And bullets don't stop until they hit something. They keep on going. And there's people sleeping behind those windows in that apartment block. There's other residences close by. There was people walking in the area. This is Winnipeg. It's not Chicago, so we can't allow that to continue. We've got to step up and get some help to make sure that we get the people responsible for this. You saw the amount of casings, so we know that there was a lot of shots fired. The red arrow shows the direction that our shooting vehicle could have gone. It either went north or it went east. And like I say, if it went east, it had to be somebody with considerable driving skills. It's not going to be somebody who's not used to driving at high rate of speed or doing some good driving. This is the BMW 3 Series. This is what we believe is the one of the vehicles that is around there. This had a group of people in it. If anybody from this vehicle can contact us and let us know who else was in the vehicle, if there's any way that you can help us out, we would love to hear from you. The second vehicle, we know it's a smaller SUV. It's either a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk or Grand Cherry, but most likely the Trailhawk, which is a little bit smaller than the Cherokee. And you notice that this vehicle has the red hooks on the front there, which is pretty usual for this Trailhawk type vehicle. Or it's going to be the Range Rover Evoque, I believe it is. They're pretty much the same size vehicle. They're very similar in shape. Their lights are very similar. And the colors would be silver dark gray, or silver light gray, I believe is what we're looking for here. And this is the vehicle that had the female. If this girl could contact us, she was right very close to it. She must have known what was going on, because I can guarantee you that when Teddy's vehicle got shot, the glass in the windows pretty much exploded and flew everywhere. There was a lot of glass flying, and other cars that did come forward to us and that we were able to find have told us that they got showered in glass as well. So these people knew something happened in that intersection. Please come forward. Please help us out. We need to know a little bit more about who shot Teddy Belayneh.